Everyone has goals, but if you repeatedly fail to achieve them, it's because you either have unrealistic goals or you aren't working hard enough, or both. There is a direct connection between logical reasoning and consistent life success. Without logical reasoning, you may be successful, but you will not feel like you're in control of your own life. This lack of control will lead to confidence issues and an increase in mental health issues. Obviously, the best way to handle these issues is to speak with professionals and people in your support network that you trust, but it also helps to slow down and remind yourself to think logically so you won't get stuck in the same cycles over and over. In today's video, I will break down the common logical fallacies that lead to failure and a lack of confidence. Okay, I hope you guys liked that intro. I wrote it myself. My family's being loud. This is the very first time I'm recording a video in my house and not in my car, so we'll see how it goes. But anyways, the first fallacy is the bandwagon fallacy, and this is basically a fallacy where you believe that because everyone agrees with something, that it must be true. So because everyone thinks I'm dumb, they must be right. Because everyone told me I was a gifted child, it must be true, right? You seem to believe that whatever everyone else believes is true, and that's not the case. Just because people believe something about you doesn't mean it's true. And if your reality conflicts with your worldview needs to be questioned. All right, the next fallacy is the appeal to authority. So basically, this is when just because an important person believes something, that means it must be true. I copy the same morning routine as a CEO, so I should be one. A rich person on LinkedIn said this is the best stock to invest in, so I should get rich if I invest in it. Just because someone you admire is doing something doesn't mean that you should believe or replicate it. Make sure your strategy aligns with your goals. You become a CEO by owning a business, not by having an ice bath every morning. Our third fallacy is the false attribution fallacy. Typically, this is called the correlation doesn't equal causation fallacy. I think a good example of this is like manifestation or subliminals or anything like that. I manifested good grades and that's why I passed my test. So there's nothing wrong with being spiritual, but you kind of want to avoid attributing your success to the wrong things. Giving pseudoscience credit for your success discredits your hard work, and it makes it harder for you to replicate your success because you're focused on the wrong things, right? So if you're focused on manifesting and not on studying, how are you going to study again and pass the second test? All right, our fourth fallacy, anecdotal evidence fallacy. Because something happened a few times, that means it must be true. My crush rejected me, so I must be unattractive. I didn't finish my chores, so I must be lazy. It's important to look at the bigger picture. Sometimes things are subjective, like your physical attractiveness. And other times things are more objective, but they should be examined by looking at patterns and not by jumping to conclusions. Not doing chores is a bad habit, but it doesn't mean you're inherently lazy. You want to take a look at the deeper reason behind why you do things. Maybe you're not doing chores because you're burnt out from work. Maybe you're not doing chores because you don't have the best tools to do your chores. Maybe you truly just need more help around the house. You don't know. All right, our next fallacy is the sunk cost fallacy. I've already made it this far, so I have to keep going. An example of this is I hate my degree, but I can't change my major because I already completed 2 years. My relationship is toxic, but I can't leave because we've been together so long. It's important to know when to quit. The longer you spend in a toxic situation, the worse it will get. Because think about it this way, right? Let's say that you stick it out and you finish your degree. What now, right? right? You're just going to continue doing this sunk cost fallacy for the rest of your life. It's not a good thing. All right, the next one is one I made up, but it's also kind of like, I didn't make it up. It's called the cake fallacy. So it's basically like the you can't have your cake and eat it too. I want success without having to make any changes or sacrifices. I want to lose weight, but I don't want to make any changes to my eating habits. I want to get better grades, but I don't want to do any studying. You can't expect to change anything while repeating the same mistakes. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory, but people still make this mistake all the time, including myself. All right, this next one is the inherent failure fallacy. If I'm failing, it's because I'm a failure. I can't clean my room because I'm a messy person. I can't make friends because I'm an unlikable person. This is terrible self-talk, and it removes all of your agency from the situation. Rather than changing your behaviors, you adopt them as permanent personality traits. Maybe you're a messy person right now, but you can like change your behavior and not be messy, you know? Think about what you can actually fix. This next one is the survivor bias. You've probably heard this one before, but this is basically when just because someone you look up to was successful in something, that means that it must work for you as well. So an example of this would be Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of college and became rich, so I will too. Not how that works. Learning from others is great, but blindly following others' footsteps without considering what makes them different from you is a bad idea. In Mark Zuckerberg's case, Mark Zuckerberg was a very skilled programmer, and he had already become very successful with Facebook before dropping out of college. So he had a plan. He knew what he was doing. All right, this next one is the talent fallacy. There's no such thing as skill, only natural talent. I wanted to learn guitar, but I gave up because I don't have the talent. I want to get better grades, but I'm not naturally gifted. Some people are better than others naturally. But if you give up everything you aren't talented in, you won't ever improve. I think this happens a lot in things that have to do with like physical strength or creativity. People, they see stuff and there's like this narrative that you have to be naturally good at it. And it really is about putting in the work and practicing every single day, you know? All right, this last one is the effort fallacy. I worked hard in X, so I should have Y. I can't believe I failed my test when I studied so long. I can't believe I haven't found a job when I've applied to so many places. Hard work is important, but hard work used in the wrong places will not help you succeed. If you study ineffectively, you won't do well even if you study for hours on end. These are 10 fallacies that have impacted me personally and that I've seen in others, but I'm sure there's more out there. It's hard to find fallacies in your own thinking because people are more emotional than rational. The key to overcoming this is to seek other perspectives and talk to family, friends, and professionals to help you identify the fallacies in your own thinking. Because here's the deal, right? It's not really about success. I know I talked about success a lot, but it's about changing your mindset about things. Okay? Most of the time it's just a mindset. People take their failures and instead of learning from them or accepting them, they internalize them, they make them their main personality traits, and then they get frustrated. And sometimes you'd be better off if you just spoke to someone for a little bit, you know? Oh, you know what? Since I'm here, I should probably do an update on my personal goals. I believe the very first video I uploaded on this channel was me talking about my goal to reach self-actualization. And I think the first thing I was trying to focus on was cleaning my room. And I don't have a lot of positive updates on that. My room has kind of stagnated. I still have a lot of laundry to do, a lot of organization to do. So it's not clean. But we'll get there. I just need to change my strategy. And maybe I'll talk about that in a different video. Who knows? Yeah, but that's pretty much it. I made this video really fast because I was just kind of thinking about something I learned when I was in class, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. So, like and subscribe.